Buenos dias, chicos. Okay, so you have finished week 1, and I know it has been a whirlwind of a time. There are a lot of assignments to do, especially in the beginning, because we got to make certain you know how to use Connect and you can do the different exercises that are on there. That is why you have all those tutorials. And with some of the flip grids and stuff, because since an online class is supposed to imitate what is done in a day-to-day face-to-face class, this is one of my only ways of being able to hear you is through flip grid assignments. So that's why you're going to be doing a couple of those at least every chapter to show me so I can hear you, hear your pronunciation, and then I can make some recommendations. So anyway, so if it does seem like a lot, that's why it is a lot, because it is imitating what we do in a face-to-face class. And language is a little different from history. Language requires day-to-day practice. You can't just leave it for a week and pick it up on Friday and be like, okay, now I'm going to learn something. It really takes that kind of solidifying of it on a day-to-day basis through your mouth, through your brain, and everything else. If any of you have ever played an instrument, I don't know if you've played the piano or the trumpet or the flute or the drums or guitar or whatever you might do, those take day-to-day practice. If not, your notes sound really bad and people can't understand the songs that you're playing. Language is the same way. If you're not imitating the sounds correctly, if we're not putting together in the correct order, then you're not really making very good meaning for the person you're listening to. And that's what the purpose of language is to communicate. So anyway, I apologize if it seems like a lot, but that's why it is a lot. Now I've been looking at some of your assignments. I'm going to be going through them today and tomorrow to do some of my assessing, today, tomorrow, and Tuesday to get your grades in. I noticed some of you are missing some assignments. That's not a good habit in the beginning because we have a lot to do. Now it does slow down a little bit. You're not having quite so many do at one time, and it becomes more normal for you. So when you're starting a class, it's brand new. All this stuff is new to you. And so it all seems a little much or maybe overwhelming at one time, but it does get better once you get used to it. So I just want to reiterate that. The most important part too is to make sure that you have the technology necessary, especially to do Connect and the flip grids. I know we've had some issue with, I think one poor gentleman was having issue with flip grid. I could tell he was doing it, his videos weren't working. For some reason, I don't know if it's the computer, if it's the URL. Sometimes it works better on the computer than the phone. Sometimes it works better on the phone than the computer. That's the issue we have with online because you have different technology and bandwidths, etc., available throughout different regions. So please make certain that you're finding what you need to get that. Our IT department on campus could really be a lot of help with that as well. So just make sure that you've got your technology available. I've gotten some questions from people. Hopefully I've fielded them and answered them well. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to write me and let me know if something's not clear. Now, when it comes to technology, I can tell you what you need, but I can't fix your technology. The technology is something you're going to have to deal with, and it is an online class, so that's one of the expectations is that you can do that. But if you have any questions about content or something that's not clear or you're not really sure what you're supposed to do, get with me. We can talk on Zoom, we can talk on the phone, we can talk however we need to make sure that it gets clear. Okay, so I just want to take a look of what we did last week, and now we're moving into this week. So you can see you're starting on the second part of that first chapter, which is numbers, etc. And you can see you don't really have a whole lot due. The first day here, you're going to have your first Learn Smart. If you see right here, your other Learn Smart, the Grammatica is going to be due online. And that's just making sure that you're practicing the grammar. And then you can see we have another flip grid that's due here because we're talking about time, etc. And then you're going to have exercises and an online exam due. So yes, there is a lot of the online stuff to do because it's the best, easiest way to have day-to-day homework of you actually engaging the material. A lot of people don't like Connect, but at this point, the Spanish faculty and I are not going to get rid of it because it is the only way for us to get you to actually engage in it in a format that will test you and you can see your mistakes almost immediately. So, because especially with like the online assignments, with the exception of the exam, you can redo it as many times as you want to make sure that you're getting it. But when it comes to the exams, that's a one-time deal. You don't have to submit it right away, so you can start your exam 2 days early, just don't submit it. Because once you submit it, then you can't go back into it. okay? Anyway, as always, it's great to see you all. I loved watching your videos and seeing your faces. I was very happy because last semester I could recognize my students outside of class because they see you enough in your videos and in our oral interviews, etc., so that I know what you look like. And that's, for me, is what's important, that I get to know who you are as a person, okay? Okay, chicos, have another good week. We finished week 1. Week 2 is coming up, okay?